Hello everyone and welcome to Minerals, Rocks, and Fossil Talks. Today we are answering questions on Google. So, I am Jennifer, resident paleontologist, and this is Brushy Basin, my birthday present from this year. Played by my sister, Megan, resident weirdo. Alright, what is a fault?
We're not talking about that movie, Your Fault in Stars.
No, faults and stars because they're made of gas. A fault is basically a big crack in the earth. One of the best examples is the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault also just happens to be a plate boundary, so it's a really big example. If you want a smaller one, you can look just outside my back door here to the Wasatch Mountains, where the Wasatch Front sits between the valley and the mountains. Basically, faults are places where earthquakes can occur. The Wasatch, for example, one fault block went up and one went down, and now we have mountains and a valley. That's a fault. Next question. Hello, Saltwash.
What does geology mean?
The long and short of it, geo means earth or land. Ology is the study of, so it is the study of earth and all of its features. So it's not just rocks, but all kinds of fun things, like rivers. Rivers are actually a part of geology. And yes, the salt wash is also part of geology.
What is a mineral?
Ooh, it's a great question. Minerals are awesome. So the simple answer is minerals are like cells. They are the building blocks of rocks. Just like cells make up our bodies, minerals make up rocks. The more technical definition of a mineral is they're defined by 4 characteristics. 1, they are made up of a single element or compound. 2, they are inorganic. 3, they are a solid. And 4, they have a definitive crystalline structure. For example, ice is a mineral. Ice is made up of H2O, and only H2O. So we got our single compound. It's inorganic. There's no carbon in ice. It occurs in nature. And it has a definitive crystal structure. It's a tetrahedron. So there's a good description of a mineral. Things that people might think are minerals but are not. Obsidian. Obsidian, not a mineral. Amber, not a mineral. Came from a tree. That's organic. Obsidian doesn't have a crystal structure, just in case you're wondering. It's glass. Glass is technically a liquid. If you want more on that, ask me later. And coal. Coal is also not a mineral because it's organic. Next question.
What is an uplift?
That is uplift. It is the vertical elevation of Earth's surface in response to natural causes. A big example, pun intended, are mountains. Mountains are caused by uplift. Smaller example, because I live in Utah, I'm going to use Utah a lot. Plus, Utah's just freaking awesome. In southern Utah, there's a place called the Paradox Basin that kind of overlaps into Colorado. Crosses over into Colorado. This Paradox Basin has been given this name because in the center of this basin are these domes. And these salt domes were caused by Paleozoic age salt from a Paleozoic ocean that used to come into Utah, has been squeezed and pushed up into what we call an anticline, which kind of makes an A, and has caused regional uplift. Cool stuff. Also, we get a lot of salt from there. Who would have thunk?
And that's how you get your uplifted Tetons.
That was bad. Wrong episode. If you haven't watched our Teton episode, now's the time. Next question. That's not a dinosaur.
See, pancake, see. What geology jobs are there?
Well, we touched on this a little bit with our last answering questions on Google when it came to like specializations, but as for jobs, a lot of geologists teach. They'll teach science courses at many grade levels all the way up to college. They work in oil fields. They work with national parks. They work with construction companies. Paleontologists will often teach anatomy classes for like medical school because we know our anatomy. That's just kind of a handful of the jobs that we do.
What geology jobs pay the most? Which one gives you the moolah?
Probably the oil field ones.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
The black gold!
Yep, that they do. It's also kind of a dying industry, so I don't know how much longer that will pay well for geologists, but for now, it's that or construction. And with depending on the type of construction, like I know people who their job with the construction company is to, when they find a new place where they're going to build something, they check the geology, they watch as they're digging to make sure they don't find any important artifacts. Because if you find a fossil and it's deemed worthy for scientific research, they have to put everything on hold until you're done. And it's even worse if it's archaeological, because then you're just kind of screwed until they've completely cleared the area of anything human, ancient human. Your project is kaput.
And if you live in Southern California, or California in general, get a geologist to look at the place where you want to buy a house.
In one of my geography classes, GIS, so that's basically geospatial sciences. My teacher loved making fun of Southern California, particularly one neighborhood, because they couldn't figure out why their houses kept getting destroyed by landslides. But when you look at the geology and the structure of that area, they were building these big, expensive houses on landslide deposits. And there were repeated landslide deposits here, which means they knew it was happening regularly. And there should have been a geologist on site to say, this isn't a good idea. And there probably was, and they probably ignored them. I'm sorry, my friend. On the other hand, I suppose you're going to get repeatedly paid for telling them, don't build your house here. Next question. This is Sue.
My name is Sue. How do you do?
My name is Sue. How do you do?
What is
Subsidence.
subsidence? I have no lips.
That's not true. T-Rex has lips. Subsidence is the gradual settling or sudden sinking of the Earth's surface due to removal or displacement of subsurface material. Florida is a great example. As groundwater is removed, sinkholes form. And then car falls in, or your house collapses, or whatever else catastrophic happens in Florida with their many, many sinkholes. Alright, Sue, do you have one more question for me?
What geology is gold found in? Sorry, I was confused. I have a wee little T-Rex brain. Happy bird brain.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so to put simply, gold is found near volcanoes. Gold minerals form in low sulfur hydrothermal fluids. Lightly put, hot springs. It's usually found embedded in quartz veins, which are very, very common with volcanic rocks. That being said, please do not go to a volcanic system to look for gold unless you're like professionally trained and you're allowed to be there. You can get into a lot of trouble for taking gold off of land you are not supposed to be on. And you can get into a lot of trouble if you take it off public lands. There's something called mineral rights. So, enjoy that you now know that it's a volcanic mineral. Don't do something stupid. Please. I beg of you.
Also, be careful of hot springs. They're hot.
Yes, if you don't believe me, check out stupid things that happen in Yellowstone National Park. Many, many people have been burned because they didn't think that hot springs were hot. So that's all of our questions for today. Thank you to all of my stuffed animal guests and their bizarre puppeteer. I hope you are enjoying your winter break and that you got lots of amazing presents yesterday. We will fossilage later, and remember to subscribe and tell all your friends.